Next guest is scheduled to speak on Thursday night here in Cleveland ahead of presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump. We want to bring her in right now. Tennessee Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn. Congressman, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Sure. What should we expect on Thursday night from your speech?
I think what you're going to hear from me and others is how we come together, how we work to make America one again, how we address some of those problems that have been growing over the last several years, and the governor knows this so well. People want to come together and focus on a goal. That's that legacy of service and sacrifice that our nation is built upon. So I think it's going to be a great night.
Governor, in terms of unity, that's what we've been talking about. Do you think we will see unity at this convention?
I absolutely do. And I think the Congresswoman is right that what we want to do is to get the party together. The little handful, and it's a very, very small group of people. I mean, it's like, 10 ants at a picnic. It just doesn't make that big of a difference. And I think they're done. They're gone. We need to just say thank you for coming and expressing your never Trump opinion. But we're done with you, and we're going to go on and beat Hillary Clinton.
And now we reunite the nation.
Yes.
And focus on what makes us great.
Yeah.
And that is what we're going to put the emphasis on Thursday night.
What is your take on these polls that show Hillary Clinton still in the lead?
I think that she has more name ID in some regards when you look at voters, uncertain voters. But here's the thing to remember. Turnout in the Republican primaries has been way up. 15 million new voters. The Democrat turnout in the primaries is down. The excitement and the motivated voter is on the Republican side of the column this year, not on the Democrat side.
It feels that way, Lisa.
Well, and I think for Republicans, too, and as you mentioned, this week is a big week for Republicans and Donald Trump. Part of a rallying cry is also against Hillary Clinton. And we look at just the sheer amount of Americans who are so concerned about her handling of the private email server and email chain. And Congressman, I know that you've asked the feds to investigate a for-profit college chain. What is that about?
Well, what we're looking at is the Clinton Foundation and the different affiliations that the foundation has. And 70 members joined me on a letter to the FBI, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and also the IRS, saying, hey, you need to look at this. When Charity Navigator cannot write you and says you have an unusual business model, when you know that they're only giving 15% of what they bring in to meet their mission, but their mission doesn't include any global initiatives. They've never done a box at 911 to go onto their IRS filing. So, there are lots of questions around the Clinton Foundation and the timing of some of these contributions, foreign contributions to the Clinton Foundation.
So this was on Friday. You led a group. You're calling on these three agencies, FBI, IRS, and FTC, to review the foundation. That also must include the fact that while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, there was lots of money exchanges between some of the countries and the governments that the U.S. was doing business with. Hillary Clinton was doing business with, and they sent money to the Clinton Foundation.
That's exactly right. And you have to look at the timing on those. The uranium one is a great example of this. What was going on between the U.S., Canada, Russia? How did Clinton play into that? How did the Clinton Foundation play into this? How did they end up with these contributions from some of the players in that deal, in that regard?
So she sent 25% of the U.S.'s uranium to Russia, and then Russia sent money to the Clinton Foundation.
Well, we're going to let the investigation say exactly what that timeline was with the transfer of that money. But yes, indeed, we think it's imperative to get answers to this. Maria, I've been on this issue for over a year. We had charities in Tennessee that were shut down for being quote unquote sham charities because they were giving less than 50% of what they brought in to their mission. And the governor knows well, many of our religious organizations have charities and nonprofits that work with them in missions and outreach. They are meticulous in how they file their paperwork with the IRS so that they continue to meet needs around the globe. And here you have the Clinton Foundation, who doesn't seem to play by any of those rules. My constituents look at me and say, hey, what's going on with this? We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, but why would they do any of this? These are Obama's agencies. I mean, we know what the IRS has already done, targeting conservatives. Louis Lerner wouldn't admit it. I mean, Koskinen, the head of the IRS, will not step down. So what gives you confidence that you're actually going to move the needle on this?
I think that public outcry and getting some answers will help move the needle on this, just like it did on moving the FBI director to say that Hillary Clinton was negligent and was irresponsible and didn't exercise appropriate judgment when we're dealing with the email scandal.
Congresswoman, how frustrating is it to you personally when the Democrats in Congress put such a firewall around the truth and prevent the questions from being raised and answered? Because, look, I understand the partisan environment. I get all that. And I know that whoever's playing, we're going to play hardball. But there's some fundamental issues at stake here,
right?
Whether or not we can trust our government and whether or not the people, especially somebody who might be president, is playing by the same rules as the rest of us. How do you do that?
That's right. It is equality under the law. And yes, people are realizing when it comes to free speech, you got two tiers. When it comes to equal justice, you got two tiers. And this is one of the things that people are saying, I have had it. I am fed up. I'm a motivated voter. I'm taking all my family, and we are going to go vote this year. I think it's why Donald Trump has outperformed in every single primary election. He's beat the polls. People are sick of this.
Well, you've got these three agencies, but then you also have the FBI, right? And Jim Comey would not admit nor deny that there was a criminal active investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Do you believe there is?
I think there probably is, because
otherwise he would have said he would have said no, right?
That's right. He would have gone on and completely cleared her. But back in May 2015 is the first time we sent a letter looking at this. We followed it back in January. Now we're at it again. This is our third time around. We're going to get it this time.
Lisa, did you want to add in there?
Oh, no, we just see so much of this doublespeak from Hillary Clinton, whether it's on income inequality and the fact that we've seen income inequality get so much worse under President Obama, whether it's fighting ISIS when she supported President Obama's failed policies. And I was just going to get to even about the Clinton Foundation. She talks about women's rights, but she supports all of these countries and gets money from all these countries that have these grotesque human rights violations, especially when it comes to women. So it's just so much political doublespeak from Hillary Clinton.
You're right. And people are figuring it out.
Yeah, doublespeak is one thing, but breaking the law is another in terms of
absolutely.
What if we don't get the results until after the election?
We're going to push to make things available prior to the election and to get some answers on this. I know lots of people are looking at it. Congress is going to keep pushing.
Congressman, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Marsha Blackburn.